Okay, guys. So I think we are live. Can you refresh my page? And I think we're live.
Share.
Is it there? Yeah, it is there.
Yeah. Okay.
And I
Yeah,
shared
so
it.
you can just share it on yours, and that's it. So yeah, we're just gonna wait a couple of seconds for people that are gonna start coming in. Hold on.
Okay. Shared.
Okay.
Makeup.
Okay, we are online. What was that, Fair?
I was
Okay,
telling
guys.
the makeup department.
Oh, okay. All right, guys. So welcome, and once again, thank you for being here with us. We're gonna start talking in a while. We're just gonna give a little more time for all the Portuguese photographers to come in. And you know, in Portugal, we are a bit slow. We work a bit slow, so they're gonna come in, but slowly. Okay. So today we have with us like these four fabulous photographers. They are some of the best wedding photographers in the world. So it's a great pleasure for me to have you here. Thank you again. So all the way from Mexico, we have Juaristi.
Hola. Hey guys. It's the universe. It's not the world.
It's early morning in Mexico, so thank you for that extra effort. I'll be sleeping, you know, I wouldn't accept it. And all the way from UK, we have Liam and Dom Shaw. And and I thought Liam and Dom were a married couple.
Everyone does.
Yeah, I found out that they're brothers. So sorry for thinking you were married. From Italy, the great Donatella Barbera. Okay, guys. So what we usually do here on Wednesdays is we usually do photo critiquing. We critique photos that people send us, but today we're not going to do that. We're just going to answer questions about wedding photographers, about wedding photography, and I've got quite a long list of questions here. But guys, anything that you want to ask, we can read your comments. Guys, can you read the comments here on the right?
See.
Oh, my comments. Hang on. Yes.
You can see the comments on Facebook.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you wanna, Luis is a really great photographer from Portugal. The best of the best. Yes, they are. Yes, they are, Luis. So if you have any questions, just write them on Facebook, and then I'll just pop them here like this, and we all see your question. Okay. Hello, Felipe. Felipe is one of the best photographers. The framers.
Felipe,
Hey guys.
Okay, so I didn't want to talk about the coronavirus. Okay, but I think we have to, because quite a few people ask me, you know, if I could find out what's happening in other countries with all this mess. Yeah, we're just gonna tell me what it's like there now. Are you gonna have weddings? Are you not having weddings? Have they been cancelled? We'll start with you, Fer. How is it in Mexico?
Well, most of my weddings have been postponed. A few have been canceled as well, because most of my couples are Americans flying to Mexico to get married. So a lot of people don't want to leave their country, or they can't leave their country as well. So yeah, like it's been a lot of empathy, a lot of like phone calls, just to make them feel safe. But the bad thing here in Mexico is the government doesn't care about us, so you have to take care of your family and your loved ones. There's no money, there's no nothing, and so that's one of the worst things about being in a third world country. that if you don't have the habit of savings or have an extra income from other parts, it's extremely complicated now.
Yeah. How is it in England, Liam and Dom?
Similar to Fur, really. Most things have been postponed up until August, and there's been a few cancellations. We thankfully had savings to see us through, not thinking of a global pandemic, but we know we had savings nevertheless. And we do get some support from the government, but it depends on how you're. If you're a limited company, you're not getting any support at the moment. It's complicated. I don't really want to go into it. It's very boring. It takes a long time. Essentially, you're not getting support if you're like a sole director at the moment. But we are not a limited company. We are a partnership. So we are getting some support up until June.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and from then on, I think we're just going to have to see how we go.
Yeah. Donatella, how about you in Italy?
Yeah.
Italy is one of the worst places for the coronavirus.
And also, Damian and I work in the destination wedding industry. So we work with UK and US couples and people that come from all over the world to get married in Italy.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit worse for us because it's not just Italian couples, but people that come from the rest of the world. And so we have all our weddings postponed to 2021 until August. But we still don't know if we can photograph weddings from August to October. So it's a very strange situation.
Yeah.
Why we were thinking to do different things at the moment. So we can't shoot, so we have to do something else, no?
Yeah. Well, I guess it's kind of a bit of the same in every country. I think we're all in the same situation. I'm not going to waste more time talking about the coronavirus. I'm not going to tell how the situation is in Portugal because everyone already knows how we are in Portugal. Basically, it's the same as you. So everything is fucked up. So so we're just going to carry on and talk about photography because a lot of people want to know like your methods and what you do in certain situations. And we're going to start with one of the most asked questions. And Pedro Bento and a couple of other photographers asked me this one. How do you manage to get the focus right with sharp images on a dancing floor? Like when you have a lot of darkness along with those crazy strobe lights always changing. So what's your method of photographing a really psychedelic dance floor? We can start with anyone. Just choose.
Go on, Tom.
We don't use flash or any like additional lighting equipment, so we just use the lights that are on the dance floor. And in terms of focusing, we'll tend to look for something. It's a lot easier than it used to be. Or we used to do this when it was like the Canon 5D or whatever it was, and that was really tricky to focus with. But like the equipment we use now, which at the moment is a Fujifilm X Pro 2 and 3, the focus is just so much easier. But we tend to focus on like the collar, so something that's close to the face, but like it's easier to focus on, because sometimes when they're moving around, it's more tricky with the eyes. But we will try, and then sometimes we'll shoot into the light, sometimes we'll shoot to the side. There's no one easy way of doing it. There's just lots of little ones depending on the light source that you're given. But we've sort of done enough of them to kind of know the scenarios that happen. If that makes sense.
One of the reasons we use the Fujifilms is because it's an APS-C sensor, so that compresses the image. So if your focus is off slightly, then it's still in focus. Like in full frame and you're a little bit out, it can be, if you're shooting it, say, at 1.2 or 1.4, the focus is way out. But on an APS-C sensor, because it's kind of cropped, it ends up being basically in focus, even if you miss focus.
So you're cheating. No, that's
Yeah. Fair. What's your method, if you have one?
no, it's luck, man. Coin toss. No, but what I have seen is like okay, maybe it's not focused, but if it's a dance floor, you have to at least that's what I try to do to remember like the patterns of the lights. Like okay, here comes the intense light, and then here comes like the soft light, and usually I try to commit to only one light. I don't know for the next song. I'm only gonna expose for the harsh light, so I know that I'm gonna have like freaking 600 underexposed images, and until I get one of those. So it's about that. Like you cannot have all the light as you want, like the limited dynamic range. So for me, it's focusing in one light, and then just follow focus a lot and the 3D things that the camera gives me, and that's it.
Donatella.
So first of all, before the wedding, we asked to our couple to have a good light during the dancing. If we don't have the good light, it's really difficult to focus. We work a lot in the countryside, in the villa, and before happened a lot of time that we didn't have enough light, and it was very difficult for us to have can photograph, no? So that is the first things that now we ask to our couple. Then depend the situation. So depend the situation. Or we work, Damian and I, we work with flash on camera, or depend on what we want to do. One of us take the picture, and one of us keep the light. So that is depending. Every situation have different kind way, not to be photographed. So it's very difficult to just say once.
Okay, do you think it's a good idea to write the lines?
Yeah,
well,
that's doable.
It's yeah. So you don't usually use a lot of flash. You just stick with the lights that the DJ has. Is that it?
For us, yeah.
Yeah.
We have flash
I basically do the same. And it's funny how Fer was explaining the that one light that comes. I do that quite often when I see like there's a pattern. A repeating pattern, I always wait for that pattern. The problem is that sometimes when the pattern comes, nothing happens. It's just and it's just missed the moment. But it's one way of doing.
So that's depending also how is the light during the dancing. So it's not the same every time. Hey, fratello.
Danielle is here. Okay, so. Let's move to the next question. Okay, guys, I've got the questions here, but if you have questions on Facebook, just write them in the comments and I'll just pop them here, okay? So this is like a basic question. They're curious to know about what camera and lenses do you mainly work with? So we'll start with, I don't know, Donatella.
Hey. We have both of us. We use a Canon equipment, and we have a 3 5D Mark IV and one 1DX Mark II. And we have a lot of different lenses, but the most that we use for 90% of the wedding is the 35. For both of us, we have double 35. Then I have a second lens, usually during the day, 70 to 100. But after the shooting with the couple, I just use one camera and just the 35. But 90% of the wedding, I shoot with the 35. Yeah.
Okay. Liam and Dom?
Yeah, we use the the Fujifilm X-Pro 2 and 3s. And we predominantly use the 23 1.4 lens. That's like, I'd say 90% of our images. Then we use the 56. So it's kind of like an equivalent of a 35 and an 85, but that's like our most of the day. That's what we'll have on. And then sometimes we'll use the 16, the 24 equivalent, for like wider shots. And that's basically it. Most take on the 23 1.4. That's the lens we love.
Yeah. And fair?
Yeah, it's quite similar. Usually it's a 35 and a 55, and then I have a 25 and an 85.
Okay. What camera?
I use Sony's now. For the last year, I'm using Sony's.
Yay!
Yay!
I'm Sony too. Yeah.
Well, I just get bored, man. I just change every couple of years just to see what happens.
Yeah. This is like one of those things that I don't think, because people are always asking what camera we use, but I don't think that's the most important stuff. Because when I changed from Canon to Sony, I changed last year, and I just changed because I don't know, just changed. And I wanted to change to mirrorless, so and everyone was talking about the Sony, and I just bought Sony. But I don't think the camera is that big of a deal. I mean, all the cameras can do a great job. So, and yeah, I use the 35mm and the 50, and that's basically it. I don't use anything else. There was one question here. I don't know who made that question. He was talking about the 2470. If any of you guys think the 2470 is good for weddings, because I think when people start, we always start with the 2470. Well, at least in Portugal, everyone starts with the 2470, and then we change to primes. Do you think it is an advantage to have a 2470?
I don't think when you're starting. I think it's a disadvantage when you're starting, because I think it's important to know distance. Like, so much photography is distance. So I think if you're zooming in and out, you're not getting an understanding of where you need to stand and how distance works to get the photographs. Once you've kind of mastered that, sure, you can use whatever lens you want. If you want to use a zoom, you can make that work. At that point, you know what you're doing. But I think there's an advantage to using kind of prime lenses and kind of fixed focal lengths when you start.
Yeah. Okay. Luis is asking.
Can be a good lens to have in the bag. For example, we have all the lens like 35, 50, 85, 135, the 100 macro, but even if we work with the 35 all day, I have in my bag one 2470 just in case, and one second, my 35 is break.
Yeah.
It happened once during the getting ready, and I was alone because Damiano was to the other, to the groom or with the bride, and my 35 was broken, and if I didn't have my 2470, I didn't know how to do. So.
Okay, so basically, the 2470 is a good lens for when your other lenses don't work.
That's the lazy one.
That sums it up. Okay, so Luis is asking, what was your biggest business mistake, and what did you learn from that? Okay, who wants to answer this one first?
Okay. I'm trying to remember like the biggest. I have done a lot of like small ones, but nothing like epic proportions, Like one time I was doing like a live Facebook video, and I was talking about how I solved an issue during a wedding shoot because the place wasn't amazing. So how I fixed it using lights, and the bride and groom were listening to the video. So they got really angry about that. And I say, hey guys, it wasn't that I love you guys. And the place was beautiful, but this was more like a technical answer, you know. So, but I got into a big of a trouble with them.
Yeah.
Probably for us, it was we spent too long at the start when we were doing photography, pretending or shooting weddings as we thought people wanted weddings to look like, and pretending to be a photographer that we weren't really. So we were kind of going against what was our natural kind of observations and trying to kind of take photographs like somebody else. So approaching the situation of what would this photographer do in this situation, rather than just seeing things that we see naturally and focusing on those because they're the most interesting things for us.
Yeah, that's true. You can get totally bogged down by thinking I've got to do it like this. You know, I suppose like looking at venues, what photographers have done on venues before you'd actually shot there. It's a terrible idea because all it does is make you think, oh, that's how it should be shot, but it's not how it should be shot. It's how you should shoot it. So yeah, I agree with you. I was thinking along the similar lines. I was like, just by thinking that we should shoot in a way that made money, whereas actually just got to shoot what makes you happy, and therefore you'll get the right couples, and therefore you'll make money that way. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you just try and just do it to what you think people want, that can be a problem.
Yeah. Donatella, any big mistakes that you made?
So the not big, but teach me a lot. First year we photographed weddings. After the ceremony, you have a little bit more the cliche to photograph. So rings and the rice and everything that you have to shoot. So after the ceremony, just a quick outside of the church to photograph the rice. So the corianders, and I missed inside of the church all the hugs and the very important part of the weddings, and from that time is now is the most important part of the wedding for me. So that is very important for me now.
Yeah.
So before I really didn't understand the value of the real stuff.
I think my biggest mistake was the name I chose, Photolux. It's shit.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's a crappy name, and but you can
change it if you want.
I know. No, now I'm photographing with just my own name because I've got the Photolux is still working, but I photograph as well under my name because it was so hard to leave that name, and I thought that name was really good when I started. Like, oh man, this is a great name. Like it's Photolux. Looks. It's like I don't know. It's great, and it's shit. Okay. Alan Law from This Is Reportage. What are you missing more, weddings or McDonald's?
Weddings.
Yeah.
I don't miss McDonald's at all. I really miss weddings. I need weddings to come back. Okay, so let me see the questions here. Okay, Sophia asks, what do you struggle with the most at the wedding? Is there like what worries you the most? A part of the wedding that you have more problems with, technically or whatever. Like a moment that you are really thinking about it and you don't know what to do. Is there a moment like that?
I'm not sure there is.
Like some people, for example, struggle with not knowing like how the lights are going to be on the dance floor, and they struggle with that and finding the perfect. That's why so many people asked about the question about the dance floor. So you guys don't struggle with anything.
That sounds so cavalier, but it's just, I guess we sort of know the expected beats for wedding day, and we believe in our kind of ability to do them. And then we've also got to produce the images that people expect from us now, like the more humorous ones. But that's fine because we're just shooting how we want to shoot and how we can shoot and how it comes naturally. So it was only, I used to really struggle when I had to do things that I naturally couldn't do, that I found more tricky. But we don't do those now. We do things that makes us feel comfortable and happy. So
I used to be really nervous before weddings, like super nervous.
Do you? You get?
I'm not anymore.
Not anymore. Okay. Okay.
But yeah, I used to be super nervous before every wedding for years and years because I wasn't confident in myself to be able to get the images that I thought I needed to get. Whereas now I feel confident that put me in the situation and I will get those images. So I feel okay now. I guess there's always things at weddings that are gonna be something that you've never seen before or something to deal with. But that's kind of, I don't think of that as being scary. I think of that as being kind of exciting. This is kind of something different at the wedding. That's something to enjoy, not to be fearful of.
Mm-hmm.
So the spontaneity is what's fun. The spontaneity is what drives us. What makes photographs. So no, I wouldn't say nervous. No.
Cool. So Natalia, did you get nervous or not?
No, I get going very quick. So it's good for me to have a different situation and different area of the weddings that go completely different. So I love every part of the wedding, really.
Yeah. Okay, this one from João. He's asking, how do you get inspired? Do you recommend looking at other wedding photographers' photos?
I prefer not. I'm more inspired from movie. Sometime I'm when I'm watching a movie, I see a nice scene, and I take pictures to the screen. So I say, oh, maybe I wanted to try this, but that is for me is very inspiring.
Yeah, Pharaoh, how about you?
I always try to not see other wedding photographers until maybe a convention or a workshop, and that's amazing. And because we follow our photography friends based on just pressure, oh, we're friends, so I have to follow you. And for me, that's toxic, because we're gonna start doing the same that they're doing. If our styles are similar, you're just gonna start to imitate them. So I prefer not to see other photographers' weddings. But to be totally honest, at the beginning, I think it's important to see what makes other people that you admire tick.
Mm-hmm.
Like go to a big convention and fool yourself with contradictions, and then try to make it personal.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
Here's another one. Okay. Okay. How do you guys? Well, I don't do any. I mean, the only preparation I do is just put the camera in the bag, and I mean that's my only preparation. The one thing that I do, that I don't do on like, imagine the wedding is on a Saturday. On Friday, I try not to do anything. I don't want to do anything on Friday. I just want to rest all day. And then at the end of the day, like 7 p.m., I put my camera in the bag and my 2 lenses, because I don't use anything else. And I just don't think about it too much. But the only thing I do is I try not to do any activities on the day before, because I get tired really easily. So I need a good night's sleep on the day before. You guys.
Lucky you.
Oh, lucky me. Well, yeah, I guess I'm lucky. I don't have to do anything before the weddings. But I know that people, I know that some of my friends, like, they shoot sessions before a wedding. I try not to do that, because I just want to be here at home, just watching some TV, and then be fresh for the next day. Because I think that when you're fresh, you get a lot more stuff. You pay attention to a lot more stuff, and you don't miss shots that you could have missed because you're tired. Sometimes it happens to me, like I'm really tired, and just missed that because I was lazy, I was tired. Yeah, but other than that, I don't do it. Don't do any preparation. Don't pray. Nothing. So let me see. There's Luis Jorge has how do you reach your client? Social network, website, or website like Fearless Photographers. So where do your mainly the clients come from? Where, your website or social media?
Everywhere.
Yeah,
just everywhere.
One particular thing that we find and get more work from others, really. Just like, all of it.
Yeah.
It's very helpful.
Do you think Instagram is working a lot more than Facebook?
Yeah,
a lot better.
yeah. We have booked weddings from Instagram, but it's just, I mean, we get a lot of like artists and directors and writers and like basically creative people, even if they aren't in a creative field, and they're solicitors even, they're like frustrated artists. Do you know what I mean? So they're all about that kind of thing. So I guess, and our work, it doesn't appeal to the mass market. So we need it from lots of different areas. We need it from as many different eggs in our basket as possible, because we don't know what kind of, where we're next going to get our booking, because it's not, may not be as mainstream as others. So we just do it that way. It seems to work well. And I guess some word of mouth as well.
Yeah. Fair. I mean, you have like 125,000 followers on Instagram. How the hell do you do that?
I just paid everyone, man. No.
I'm asking this because I had a question here for tips for growing followers on social media. So you're the best one to answer that.
Well, I don't have like a formula or a strategy. For me, it's been, most of my followers I know are other photographers. And because I have done a lot of teaching, like from the last 10 years, like all around the universe, not only the galaxy, or maybe so it's because of that. Like most of my couples, still I get them through wedding planners, or past couples that I have worked with. But for me, Instagram, it's not how I get most of my couples.
Okay. Okay, let's move to. Is it okay to accept 3 weddings in a row, like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or do you just say you're busy?
Sometimes Damiano and I, we have 5 weddings in a week. So.
Oh, you're crazy.
Wow.
You must go to the gym a lot. But you can do.
Why I said before, you are lucky if you can rest the day before.
Well,
we have 5, 6 weddings in a row. So
no, you're lucky. You are lucky because you can do 5 weddings in a row. Like you don't get tired. I don't do 5. I don't do 5 weddings. I will never do 5 weddings because I know that physically I couldn't do it. I just couldn't. I can do 2 weddings in a row, 2 maximum. I never accept a 3rd wedding, even if it's like a great wedding in like a great palace, like everything is perfect. But I've got those 2 weddings before. I don't accept that wedding because I know that I would just be dying there. I would look like a zombie on the 3rd day. So, but we've got photographers here in Portugal that do, like, a friend of mine. He does in August. He does 30 weddings. So he does every day. He photographs every day. Every day in August. But I don't know how he manages to do that. But I just couldn't do that. fair. Do you have a limit on?
I think it depends on where you are in your career, no? Like because as an external vendor or as an independent creative, you don't know how next year is going to be. So sometimes a business person is going to tell you have to accept when you have demand. Okay, you have to go crazy. Like a few years ago, we were building our house, so I say yes to everything. Like that year, I shot tons of weddings, tons of workshops because we had like a plan. We had a purpose, but you have to acknowledge to yourself as well, because some artists, the more they work, the more inspiration they get. Like even like sleep deprived for some people, it's extremely creative. It sucks for your body, but it's for some people it's extremely creative. That like they get those creative juices working. So it depends. Like how much money do you need each year to provide for your family, and for how long do you want to do this as well? So everybody has their own strategy.
Yeah, Liam and Dom, do you have any limits on days in a row?
Well, we used to shoot 3, but for maybe the past 6 years or so, 2 has been the maximum that we've doing, just because it got to a point where for us it wasn't fun to shoot that 3rd day anymore.
Yeah,
we didn't necessarily need to, so why were we doing it? So we got rid of it. Now, next year we might be shooting 3.
10 per week, man.
So, next year it's gonna be tough. I mean, my wife she's the one who takes care of all of that. I try not to think about it, and she's just showing me like all the dates that we have next year, like the dates that we had before and the ones that we're changing now to 2021, and it's just gonna be a bad year. Like it's gonna be a good year for making money, but it's gonna be a bad year. For a guy like me who likes to rest.
Got a lot of
So that how are you dealing with postponed weddings and preparing your financial plan for 2000 with less available days for weddings?
That's heavy. We're working around it. I mean, at the moment, some have been moved to the end of the year. We'll see if those happen, like September, October. Some have been moved to spring. We're just, as first at the beginning, just trying to be as empathetic and trying to help people and move dates when we can, and and just do our best for people, and at the same time booking weddings for next year as well for new couples, which is happening at a faster rate at the moment, because I think couples are kind of dawning on them, the dates are going faster, because obviously photographers are wanting to make sure that their 21s are looked after. So just balance. It's all about the balance, I think, this for next year.
Yeah, I think we're all in the same situation on this. It's going to happen the same thing all over the world. So
and so, as well, maybe it can be a good opportunity to expand your brand a little bit. Like I don't know, like we are wedding photographers. That's it. We don't shoot anything else. Maybe this is the time to say, okay, I'm gonna take pictures of freaking babies, man, or on how you shoot it with your own style as well. I think when there's crisis, there's always opportunities. We can be super fatalists, and we can say, this is my last year, I'm gonna die. But we have to be mutants. We have to be able to adapt no matter what.
In my case, I'm a wedding photographer. I don't shoot anything else, and I don't shoot anything else just because I don't have time to shoot anything else. Because the wedding just take me a lot of time. So, but this year, because we're not going to have weddings, or maybe we will have some at the end of the year, I'm going to shoot pregnant women and just families in general. And I'm going to shoot, not because I need the money, because like Liam and Dom, I had some savings, and this is something that, if you charge well for a wedding, you can have 1 year without weddings. Unless you spend it all on drugs, which I don't. So
half maybe.
but I'm going to shoot because I have to be doing something, otherwise I'll just go crazy. So I'm going to shoot some, maybe not babies because I don't really like it. But I'm going to shoot families. Yeah. So Andrea was asking, since you guys have a lot of weddings, you edit all your photos, or do you have an editor just for that? How do you guys do it?
We edit everything in-house. We do everything ourselves.
Yeah, I call Liam edits. We don't do that many, so it's very reasonable, and we'd like to do it anyway, because then you get to, for culling, I get to see, that's an important part for me, to look through the layering in particular to make sure it's right. And then with the edit, you learn things. You learn things from editing and culling, and it's a process that we enjoy. So for us personally, we don't farm it out.
Yeah. Donatella?
Depends. At the moment, like half and half, but what we want to do is just to think about to photograph and edit, but post-production, so select, but post-production give out. So we hope when we start to shoot weddings again, to do just in this way.
Yeah.
We want to do it in this way.
Yeah, fair. How do you edit your photos?
Usually I edit my favorite ones, between 20 and 40 images, and the rest, there's this amazing company in Mexico that I outsource everything for them.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Well, I'm trying to make that transition because I've been editing all of our weddings, and I have two teams. So we do, every Saturday we do two weddings, and then during that week I have 3 weddings to edit. So because I'm kind of crazy, and I do all the work in 3 days, and I give all the work to the bride and groom in 3 days after the wedding. So but this is because I'm nuts. So this year I started cutting on the amount of weddings that we do, because I used to do 75, 80 weddings per year. This year we started thinking like we're going to do less weddings. But I didn't know we were going to do none. But we wanted to do less weddings. So we set a limit on 50. And I'm trying to edit the ones I shoot. And now I'm going to try and see if one of the photographers can edit the other weddings that they shoot, because it's just too much work. It just drives me crazy, and then I have to go to the psychiatrist, and that's not good.
Yeah.
So let me see the oh, fair, you just wrote the
I typed that so if people wanna check them out.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. Since we're doing publicity, Andre, Juaristi's Patreon is really good. Check it out.
Thank you, Andre. Thank you, man.
Yeah, Andre. Yeah, you told me. I think you told me that. Let me see if I've got the. I've got it here. Look at that.
Oh, sexy.
Oh, look, it's so sexy. Okay, let me see the questions. Okay, let me go to my list. Okay, second shooter, yes or no? How do you guys do it? Do you shoot just yourself? Do you shoot with somebody else?
Who gets more money? Who gets more money from you guys?
So you guys, Dom and Liam, you shoot together?
Yes.
In every wedding?
Yes.
Almost.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So who's the main shooter and who's the second?
There isn't one.
There isn't one.
Okay, cool.
We swap jobs.
Yeah.
To, make it interesting.
Yeah, I do the same with my wife. She always shoots with me, and sometimes I don't want to do the boring stuff, and she does the boring stuff, and I'll just go and have fun. Like when sometimes she has to do like some safe shots, and I'm just doing shit. And most of the time it doesn't work, but I'll try. How do you work, Donatella? You work with your husband?
Yeah, we work together. So with my husband, just 2 years in 2015 and 16, we decided to work separate. So 2 weddings in a day. But then we really went crazy because too many weddings and we couldn't organize everything and we didn't see each other. And then we started to work just together and have 1 wedding per day, just as and work together. But for us, it's really important to be in 2 during the wedding day. It's really important.
Fair. How about you?
I usually shoot by myself. Sometimes I give the couples.
You want the money. You want the money just for you.
Always, man, always. No. It depends on styles as well. Like sometimes, they can hire a second photographer, or sometimes I invite a friend, and they can risk even more than I'm doing. So it gets very dynamic as well. But I love feeling the pressure that if I don't have it, what happens? But a lot of second shooters have saved my ass so many times.
Yeah, I never tried shooting on my own because when I started with my wife, and she always shoots with me. I never thought about shooting on my own. I know I could shoot on my own. There's no problem in that. But I feel that I can be a lot more creative with someone else, because if she does the basic stuff, I can just be improvising. But I'll have to try one day to shoot one on my own, see what happens.
Yeah. Everybody needs to change their formulas once in every blue moon.
So Rui is asking, what about your delivery times? What do you think? What you think about it?
6 years. 6 years.
6 years. Yeah, that's good.
That's typical.
That leaves them time to divorce, and
that's
you don't
the
have
express delivery. Okay.
Say again. So for all my wedding couples that are connected now, say again.
So do you have, is any of you crazy like me that gives them the work just a few days after the wedding?
No.
I know.
I say 6 to 8 weeks. That's
6 to 8 weeks. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, we say 4 to 6, but similar. There's 2 of us, so one's doing one job while the other one's doing the other. So
yeah, Donatella is about the same.
Yes, for us it's 4 to 6 months. So that's depending, because if we have 40 or 50 weddings, this change, and we don't know 1 year before how many weddings we have. So that's why in the contract we write 4 to 6. That is the reason.
Yeah.
I think it's good to leave space before you look at the photos again. You can look at them too close to the event itself, and what you thought, you can be influenced by what you thought was the best photograph on the day, whereas actually that wasn't the best photograph. You just needed to be away from the photographs and away from that day to let them age a little bit and give it a bit of breathing space, and then you can look at them with kind of fresh eyes, which I think is it's really useful. We've recently been going through our portfolio from previous years, and it's just interesting to see what pictures we are choosing now that we chose at the time. So like which ones we blogged, and now I'm like, oh, actually these pictures here are actually better, or maybe not better, but they resonate with me more right now. So it's good to have space from your images. I think if you're always thinking I've got to deliver the picture the next day or in a few days' time, you can be influenced by how you shoot on the day, because you can be too busy thinking about what pictures do I need to deliver that the couple are thinking that they want, or what do I have to, what's the picture that has to define this period, rather than just shooting freely and let the photographs
now that you're saying that, there was a question here which they were asking, what do you do, or if this happened to you, when a bride wants a certain picture that she has seen somewhere on Instagram or on Pinterest or whatever, and she shows you those photos and she wants you to do those photos. Do you do that? Do you do them or not?
Well, I mean, that doesn't tend to happen anymore, which I think out. So that's really great. But if on the day they said, hey, could you recreate this? Of course, it's their day. I want them to be happy. But if they hadn't booked yet and they said, I want you to recreate this, then I'd be like, okay, I think you should go and find the person who took that, because then you'll be happier. So like, it's not something that happens anymore, but we've taken a great effort to make sure that doesn't happen, because if they're wanting something that you don't do, that's when you can get nervous. We were talking about nerves right at the beginning. That's when we get nervous, when it's like, oh, ask us to recreate something that we don't naturally do. You want to find a photographer who did do it and use them.
But has that happened before? Has it happened to you? Like on the wedding day, like they ask you to do something really stupid?
Sure.
I do it, man. I do it. Yeah.
You do it, no problem.
Yeah,
and then they'll post that picture on Facebook. Like, that's my favorite picture.
Fine.
Okay.
Their photos, it's their wedding day.
It tends to not happen with the bride and groom, but say it was a couple, one of the guests, then of course it's no problem. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the importance of not using watermarks.
True.
That's
everyone's happy. Everyone's happy.
That's a nice tip. That's a nice tip. Because it happened to me a couple of years ago. I had this bride that wanted to do like one of those, when there's a tree and like they pop out of the tree from one side, and then, like the heads, and like she wanted to do that, and I was like, oh, but then I do that. The face I do is like, really? You want to do that? Are you sure? Like, it must be crazy. And she wanted to do that, and so I did the picture. And which picture did she post online? That one. Yeah. And I was like, oh shit! And the watermark was there because she took it from the online gallery, and with the watermark, oh shit! Like, people are gonna think that. That's the kind of work that I do.
It's okay, man. Don't take your job seriously, man. It's just your name, man. It's a photo looks, man. It's.
Okay, let me look at the questions here on the comments. Okay, Marisa is asking something here. Let me see. What do you think about photographers that only publish style shoots? Some are afraid of showing real weddings. But then that's just not real. Oh, okay, yeah,
okay,
yeah. Because Marisa, she when the last time I was with her, she talked to me about this because a couple of photographers that she knows, they only post styled shoots.
Okay,
and some people do that. So what do you think?
If it's their style, is okay. For example, we have a photojournalistic approach. So we like to share more real stuff, moments, that things. But if the photographer take photo in that style, why don't post?
Yeah.
So that is depending on your style. Of course, if you post just a stylish photo, you will not have clients that like a photojournalistic approach. So depending on what you show, you will have your clients, no?
Yeah, agree with that. Okay, let me see the comments. So Marcus is asking, do you think it's important to deliver 3 or 4 photos to them some days after the wedding, so they can share with their friends on social media?
Well, we sort of answered it.
Yeah. It's probably a positive thing if you're looking to try and get future couples from that wedding. That's how you're getting your clients in. If you're gonna, if they can share it, and then maybe somebody at that wedding can, maybe, but that doesn't work for us. But it could potentially work for somebody else. It just depends. So many of these things. There's never necessarily a right or wrong answer to any of these things. For some people, yeah, that's the way to go, and for others, no, it's not. But you've got to find out who you are as a photographer, who your couples are, who you're trying to appeal to, and then you can kind of figure out if that's the right thing to do or not.
Yeah. When you are assembling albums, in case you do it, do you choose your photos or leave it to the bride and groom?
We choose.
Yeah.
The album is your publicity, and also they don't have the competence to understand how to create a good storyteller. So it's really important that because you shoot the wedding, so you have to choose also the photos for the album to have a good story and with the best photos of the day to create a story. Of course, so what we do, what Damiano and I do is, so we prepare the album proof, then we show to the couple, and of course, if they wanted to change a couple of photos, few photos, we don't say no, but we give a line. You understand?
Fair. How do you do it?
Yeah, it's the same. I do a pre-design, and then they can change whatever. I don't give a lot of importance to the albums because, like, on my head, I say, okay, how many pictures, how many people are gonna see the end result compared to the ones I'm gonna share in social media. So I think in one part of your like brand, you have to let go. I don't like to have total control of everything. So okay, I'm the editor of my social media, but the album, it's like whatever for me.
Yeah, the same with you. Yeah. For before I was choosing all the photos myself, and I was doing all the albums. Then I passed all that to my wife because I don't care about the albums anymore. Like she takes care of it, and I don't want to be thinking, because I was spending too much time thinking, well, will they like this photo here, I think that's just stupid, because they're going to change it anyway. They're going to ask for changes. So Paolo just does the album with a lot of extra spreads, so they're going to pay a little more, and then they change whatever they want, and because there's no point in doing a perfect album if they're going to ruin it. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they ruin it.
The album, so is okay. We choose the photo, but it's also right that they can change what they want. Anyways, their album, so what they have to see, no?
Yeah.
The program was a very good time to work on albums, because we can shoot. And because we work with destination couples, so we before we never asked for an album, a printed album, and what we did now is to contact all our clients and propose to print the album. So now Damiano and I were working a lot on making albums.
There's always going to be photos that you don't realize that are going to be as important to them, you know, like there will be photographs that you would miss out because you don't see the importance that they do.
Yeah, exactly.
It's important to allow changes because there will be things that you just can't possibly imagine that would mean so much to them.
Yeah. Okay, so Felipe is asking, what are you doing during this period, photography related or not?
Different things. Different things. There's I guess there's the business side of it, which is obviously dealing with the couples, moving, postponing, working on looking through previous weddings, working on wedding albums, selling those kind of things, which is kind of the business side of it. Then there's the creative side, which is kind of no different to any other period, really, which is just the being inspired, looking at other artists, listening to people, kind of improving yourself as a creative. And then there's the final side, which is kind of trying to use this time as a like a mental break. Like it's okay. Like this, we've been working for years and years, kind of solidly with very little break, really. So we're taking this period as well to kind of, okay, be with our families, talk, relax. If it's sunny, enjoy the sun and just chill for a little bit before it goes crazy again.
Yeah.
And it's okay to do that. It's okay to just take a breath, relax a bit. It's okay. We don't feel the pressure of having to work every single second. If there's a break, take it. It can be good for you.
I've been trying.
You guys, Nutella, what have you been up to?
Now, what
we
are working on albums and doing one-to-one. This is what we are focused at the moment. Albums and one-to-one. Yeah.
Fair. I bet you're doing a lot of stuff because you've got your videos and your Patreon and all that stuff, so you're always busy.
Yeah, well, first of all, now I'm like a full-time teacher, like for my kids. So holy shit, it's intense. Just waking up and preparing their homework and then doing the breakfast and like I'm used to it, but not the teaching part. So I have seen that. Like after I am done with everything and I want to start working, I'm freaking tired. So I'm doing a lot of things for myself, like reading a really good book or just playing a little bit of video games as well, just chilling out. Taking care of my online community, it's the same, but yeah, the energy comes and goes. It's weird. Like kids are quite demanding, so yeah, sometimes I have a lot of things to do, but I'm like, fuck it, not right now. I'm gonna pause everything and I'm just gonna chill. And we have a small hammock here, and I just relax there, man. And as Liam was saying, it's time to chill as well and relax. And we are in this huge rat race in all our adult life. So fuck that, like to be totally honest, it's like, okay, you have to be proud of yourself if you have taken care of your business and your family and your savings, and see this as well as an opportunity, and become stronger on your faith as well.
Yeah.
I
was when all this started, I was like, oh man, I've got to do something because I've got to be busy doing something. And I started. Well, I'm creating a workshop online that I will do later in the year or maybe next year. So I'm working on that. And then yesterday I was talking to my dad, and my dad said something like, because I was saying that all the weddings are being postponed, and I was like, so what am I going to do? I'm going to shoot families. I'm going to do, what am I going to do? And he just said, just stay on holiday for a year. And I was like, well, that sounds like a good idea. And maybe we should do that. Maybe we'll just, until weddings start next year, we should just be here, just doing whatever we want, and be with your kids, and watch a lot of movies and do nothing. Because most of the time we're always complaining that we don't have enough time. So now that we have enough time, I'm complaining that I have too much time. So I don't know. I think we should just relax and take a year out, and just. I don't live in the city, so I live in the countryside, so it's like really quiet. So I should just take advantage of that and just stay here and do nothing for a year. So Okay, this one is a long one for you, Fair. I haven't read it
For
yet.
me?
Yeah.
No, Dom was what she didn't talk about what she's doing.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. Well, same as Liam, but I also have been exercising a lot, which actually fairly has as well. Trying to get fit because I'm aware next week is going to be.
I should be doing that.
Yeah, so I've been exercising every day, and I also live in the countryside, so I have been creating vegetable patches and growing things, and I have a greenhouse, and yeah, just giving myself a bit of time and writing and doing stuff that I never get time to do, as well as still doing the business stuff. But yeah, I mean, it must be really tricky with people who have to teach their children as well, and I'm obviously I don't have that, but I miss like my nephews like mad. It's crazy that we haven't seen anyone for so long now, and like I've literally only seen my husband and my dog since the 20th of March.
Yeah.
but grateful that I'm healthy and that I have time to just put around the garden and plant seeds.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Cool. Okay, here comes the long one.
Oh shit.
Fair,
Okay.
I think this one's for you, Fair.
Yeah. No, just like a few years ago, I photographed a wedding of like a private insurance family. Like all the family was doing that, and we became friends. And I didn't knew about all this, but I don't know how it's in your countries, but here in Mexico, if you're about to have a kid, you have to pay a lot of fucking money. Like it's not free to have kids here if you want to be on a decent hospital.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So yeah, it's around like 4,000 euros to have a kid in a decent hospital here. Okay. So I remember when I photographed his wedding, he told me, "Hey man, let's have a beer and talk about your future." So because for me being an adult, it's a joke. I just work and I'm happy, and I'm lucky enough to consider photography my source of income, and I will never expect to be earning the amount of money that I have done on photography. That's just trusting your community that someone told you like, "Hey man, you're good enough, upscale your pricing," and you're like, I'm not. And so I have done it. But yeah, like for me, it's getting professional advice on how to not be so stupid with your money, because even here in Mexico, a lot of people, they still pay you with cash for a wedding because they want to do this for the taxes. They want to skip it. So still a lot of payments are like that. So a lot of photographers, they get the cash and they just buy the new cameras, the new Minolta camera or something, So I haven't done that since I started. I've been saving my money. I have bought some couple of lands here and there, and I have paid in advance the education of my kids.
Yeah.
So when you don't have to pay like a big rent, and that your government's not gonna take care of you, you have to be pretty wise with your money, because once you're like 50, 60 something, you still have to provide for yourself. So for me, it's always finding different ways of getting different income, because I know that being a wedding photographer has a expiration date.
Yeah, I try not to think about that a lot. My expiration date.
No, but it's good to be pessimist, because that way you can take care of your investments or your money, and it's the same as you're living in the country. You're being intelligent. If you live in the huge city, you have to pay double or triple than what you're paying right now. Yeah. So those are the things that sometimes we don't take about.
I always try and I'm really careful with what I do with my money. And one thing that I did was I didn't buy a house. I didn't rent a house. I built a house. Me, my dad, and my mom, we built it. My dad knew like a little bit about it, but mostly we learned everything on YouTube, and we built the house. Like it was 7 years ago. It's still here, so It's safe. So I don't have to pay. I don't have to pay rent. I don't have to pay anything like monthly, like car and all that. I don't have anything to pay, and I try not to have anything to pay monthly, because something can go wrong and then you have to pay something monthly. So but yeah, the best thing I did was to just, it was really hard. It took me 2 years to build a house, like all day working, but but now I don't have to pay a house until I'm 80. So that was the best thing I did. Now let's just change here subject. Luis is asking if you could choose anyone, dead or alive, who would you love to have as a personal business mentor or work with? Difficult question. I don't think anyone wants to answer this one, because
there's so many people. There's so many different artists that I would love to hear their opinions. I find though that quite often, at first I would look at wedding photographers, then I would look a lot at other artists, and then I would find that I would become kind of replicating their work too much. So it was kind of, I would become chained to their ideas, and it's really about breaking free and finding your own ideas. So even though I would love to hear their opinion, really I feel kind of comfortable in finding and exploring kind of our own creativity, and not being kind of scared of it, but kind of embracing it and just enjoying creativity, rather than thinking there's a right or wrong way to anything.
It's so easy to mystify these big names or big personalities, no? And if we can humanize them, and we can say, okay, freaking Da Vinci, he had a freaking hard time, or he invested triple or 4 times the time to build and master his craft than the rest of the other people that were just getting drunk. Okay. Now I know. So it's all about that. One thing is the talent, but the other thing is like the hands-on experience that a lot of people are too lazy to attempt.
You won't find many people who just pick up a camera and then instantly they're brilliant. It takes time. Everything takes time. You just need to kind of, and trust that it takes time, trust the experience. And also just know that nobody really knows what they're doing.
And
that's okay. Okay. We're all just exploring photography and the world. It's okay not to, nobody has all the answers, and that's okay.
Find our own path.
Okay. And we got lucky because social media and all this, a lot of people now can see our work, because it's stupid to be a destination photographer. Like, there's so many talented photographers everywhere. So thanks to social media, we became this like cool gang. But a long time ago, we were like, this wasn't cool to do. So we got lucky to be born and take the opportunity of sharing our love and this community. So it's timing as well. It's quite important.
I'm fascinated to the painters. I watched a documentary about Leonardo da Vinci a few days ago, and it was amazing. It's really incredible. A lot of time, Damian and I will watch that kind of a documentary, like Caravaggio. We love, we like. We expose to highlight. So Caravaggio is a really perfect person for us, because he really, I don't know how he could work with the light in one way that really photographers have to learn a lot from him. So I think, I'm more inspired, and if I could be there and look how they work, I prefer to be there to looking painters.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's very old painters.
Okay,
I'm going to share a documentary in the questions, so people can watch it about a painter. It's amazing.
Okay, yeah, you can write it out. Do you invest a lot in publicity?
No.
No.
Do you? No.
You mean advertising?
Yeah, you mean advertising?
Well, I guess publicity is anything from I don't know, your website or AdWords, Google AdWords, or anything. I think that's
in our website. That's something that we do. But money-wise, not like advertising for Facebook or Instagram or anything like that. We've just found it's better to be organic. Like I know you can like, buy followers and all that kind of stuff, but
that's funny. The people who buy followers, because when you go into their friends, the followers, like you go into someone who has a lot of followers, and you go and see their followers, and then like you scroll down for a bit, and then you start, like in Portugal, you start seeing all these Indian and from Bangladesh and from Pakistan, all these followers, like 500 of them that are fake. And then after a while, those followers, they just vanish.
Fake or retoucher.
I don't really know what's the point of buying followers that don't exist. They just don't exist. So I don't get it.
Yeah, I think that the number of followers for a lot of people are like, if she or he had big following, it means that they're good at their job. But that metric, it doesn't represent talent. It's just a number. So yeah, but I don't know, like maybe non-photographers take big importance in that. I don't really know.
Yeah. So Andre, he was talking about social media and Google AdWords. So basically, those Facebook paid ads and that kind of stuff. You don't do any of that? No.
I never use AdWords, so I don't know also how to use it. Really.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a couple. Is one more related to technique. Where is it? Just missed it. Oh, okay. So, do any of you photograph anything from like? Do you always photograph manual, or do you use like aperture priority, or do you use auto ISO in any moment, or is it just manual all day?
We shoot manual, but I don't think there's a best way to shoot. It's just what's best for you. Like, I think sometimes people think, oh, manual's the best because whatever, right? And nonsense. All that matters is the picture at the end, you know? Whether the camera, however's best for you. Like, we shoot manual because, I mean, it's a long explanation as to why we would do that, but essentially it works best for how we're trying to create our images. So if any other way was better, we'd shoot that way. There's no hierarchy to it.
Yeah. The same guy asked, what is your the highest ISO you can work with? Like the highest you think that is workable, like printable?
I
don't tend to go above 6400.
You can, but we just don't.
But we just don't. Because then it starts to go beyond what the eye can see. And then I like to keep the feel of what it felt like to be there, like that connection to it. And if you start up in the ISO indefinitely, it brightens the picture to a point that's beyond what the eye can see. And at that point, you may as well just use flash. So, because you feel the feel. So, but, you know, that's just a personal thing about how we want to create our images. Again, you know, if you want to shoot crazy ISOs, go, fine. Absolutely. Nothing wrong with that, you know.
Donatella, what's your maximum?
I really don't care about ISO, because if I have a good moment, I can shoot also 25,000 ISO.
Okay.
I really don't care. And I did. But so I think it's just more photographers thinking about noise,
Mm-hmm.
So if there is a good moment, don't care about noise or everything. It's just the whatever the ISO. I don't care about the ISO. It's just what any. Of course, you have equipment that you can work with high, but
okay. Fair. How about you? Do you have like a maximum?
No, what it takes to get it, but it's rare for me to go the same. Like above 8,000, it's just like a joke. But sometimes I have used it, but it's not like, yeah, I got it. It's just okay. It's good to have it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. Here's a controversial one. Well, it's not really controversial. It is for some people. Awards, yes or no, and why?
As long as
What?
Awards.
Awards. Okay.
I like Photography Awards.
Yeah, awards. Yes or no, and why?
Again, it's up to you. I mean, as long as my advice would be enter pictures that you love. Don't win with pictures. Don't try to win with pictures that you don't like, because that picture can get out there and you can be associated to a picture that's maybe not in your style, or a picture that you don't particularly love. So as long as you love the image that you put out there, then if it wins, great. Someone else loves it too. And if it doesn't win, well, you still love it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Donatella, how do you feel about it?
I think, okay, we are here. I'm here thanks to awards. So, or no, nobody know me, no? Other photographers wouldn't know me if I didn't enter my photos to in the associations. So, of course, I can't speak bad about that. Also, I think associations are really important for because create community. So that is the most important thing for association. Of course, you have to, as Liam said, you have to enter things in your style. You just can't take photos to win an award, but you just, that's what we do. We just shoot in weddings, and then when we edit the wedding, we see pictures that we like, and we enter to the contest. But we don't think we shoot a photo for the contest. That is really important. Or you really can go mad and disconnect with your work, with your job. That is the line.
Yeah, fair. You don't usually enter a lot of contests, do you?
Not anymore, because it can hit you as well. Like if you're doing it, okay, to build a community and to know like the big guys in your industry, I think it's okay. But then at some point it can get you quite annoyed that, oh, I must win this one, and your ego can kill you and can attack you. So if you're doing it for the right reasons, not to be the big shit or to become like the big star, I think it's okay. But if you see that when you don't win, it's hurting you, just be careful, because a lot of people are photographing weddings just thinking about the awards, and that's going to affect the story in the end.
Yeah.
So I think you have to be aware of that, because there are so many styles. You can be like the super documentary, and then you can be the super fine art, and so you can get confused with so many possibilities, and some pictures are gonna feel like shit in some awards, and in some others they're gonna win. So you have to know that every association or every directory or gallery have their own rules and formulas, and just know which one you think represents more your style, but at the same time, don't take it too personal, because if not, you're just gonna want to please other photographers.
Yeah.
And you can forget about couples.
Yeah.
So
I believe that. I believe that. So it's really important to don't focus on this, but just shoot your wedding, and then when you see your photos, if you have photos for contest, just send. If not, no. And
because positive mentality is like so important at a wedding. If your energy levels, if you're starting to feel negative on a wedding day, then you're just not going to see photographs. So if you're thinking, oh, I need to get an image, I didn't get the image that I thought I wanted for this particular whatever award, you know, that's going to start like damaging your feelings on the day, your energy levels. And you need to keep positive, because you're not going to see anything. Like when we're doing shoot photography, if you go out in like a negative mindset, you don't see anything on the wedding day. You can find that positive mindset today. And if you're thinking about the awards, then it's not going to help. So just stay in the moment, stay positive, and not be thinking about kind of what that's afterwards. You know, look at the images afterwards. Don't be thinking about that in any way, shape, or form. Because if you're thinking about the awards while you're shooting, then you're really going to miss moments, because you're thinking about them instead of what's in front of you. So yeah, they're fine as long as you not
don't get addicted.
Yeah. And negative attitude. You know, if you make me feel down, don't do it.
I a couple of years ago, when I wouldn't win an award, I would be like, oh shit, I must be really shit. And I would go down. Right now, and especially on Fearless, because it's so hard to win on Fearless. And when I don't see a photo of mine there now, I think it just gives me more motivation to try and work more. But it doesn't get me down. I don't care. I didn't win an award, okay, but I try to understand what if I'm doing something wrong. Are my images crap, or but I don't know. But if one day that thing that happens to me, like to get depressed because of not winning awards, then I'll just step away and don't do it anymore. Okay, we've got time for just a couple more questions, and then we're done. I have one here for Liam or Dom, because your work is so documental. Like, do you do like a session with just a couple, like a directed session, or is just purely documental all the way through?
You mean on the day?
Yeah, on the day.
I'd say, what do you reckon, Dom? 25%?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, but we never show them as part of on our website, as part of our portfolio, because it's not why couples book us. If they're going to do it, then they'll just do it for a short period of time. But it's become less and less because they want us to do the documentary, and it's very difficult to do both. And we want to create an image with the bride and groom in a real documentary scene, and that takes time. So they seem to less and less want the portrait session. But if they do want it, then that's absolutely fine. No worries at all.
Yeah. So you have weddings that you don't do session at all?
Yeah, most
of the weddings you don't do it. Okay. Yeah.
Some couples book us because we don't do it. That's enough. Like, the negative is a reason why we get the booking. So
yeah,
we're not selling like iPhones or like mass products. We're selling to maybe 20 to 25 people a year. Like, we only need a small amount of people relatively in the world to love our work each year. Like, that's it. It doesn't matter if hundreds of thousands of people like our work. It doesn't matter. We only need 20 to 25 a year. So you can just do what you like. Because if you like it and you really believe in it, then somebody else will too. It's like, we're not alone in like having kind of things that we like in art or whatever. So just trust yourself, trust your own kind of opinion, trust your own likes and dislikes.
Yeah.
And know why you're taking a picture as well. Like, don't just take it because you think, well, I saw somebody else do it, or I think it's cool because it's an industry trend. Take it because understand why are you taking the picture. Always think about that. Why is this meaningful? And that can be in a portrait or it can be in a documentary work. Just always think about the why.
Yeah. One thing that I stopped doing, I stopped doing this last year or 2 years ago. Last year I didn't do this. Those detailed shots, like the photo of shoes, the photo of the dress, the wedding dress hanging somewhere, all those details. It didn't make any sense to me why I should have a photo of the shoes or of the dress if that dress is going to be on 800 photos. So I stopped doing it. I don't shoot details anymore because it just doesn't make sense to me. Like if they ask me to do that, it's like, I'll do it if they ask me. But it's just like I'm being a prostitute. Because I just don't understand why they want photos of the earrings or all those details.
Somebody probably did take. There was I don't know who it was, but there'll be a photographer somewhere who took a great picture of shoes a long time ago, and it was so fantastic that everyone thought we've got to get on this. Yeah, this is a reason to do it. I found like through shooting street photography that if you're shooting on the streets, you really always want to. If somebody came up to you and said, "Why did you take this picture?" you want to be able to justify it and say, "Look, I took this picture because I see this, and this is beautiful. This is how I see the world." Right? So you don't want to ever just go around just take it. Well, not for me anyway. Just taking pictures and just if someone said, "Oh, why do you take that picture?" and I'm like, "I don't know. I have no idea. I was just taking it blindly." You want to always think, "Okay, I want to be able to justify everything that I take on the street," and that's not always possible at weddings because, of course, you've got a license to, and you've got time restrictions. Therefore, you're a bit more rushed in your approach. But essentially, try to think about what you're doing as much as possible and give yourself reasons why it's important to take pictures.
Yeah. Okay. Just the last two questions. Okay, I'm going to pop this question here because it's the second time he asks, but you don't have to answer if you don't want to. But it's the second time he's asking this. Like, how much do you charge for a wedding?
You can call us direct.
Exactly. Rui, if you want to know how much everyone charges, just send a message by Facebook or Instagram. Well, I'll be glad to share my rates with you. No problem.
It's no problem to share with you. Just talk with us.
Yeah. I put this one here because it's the second time he asked. So, this is a technical one. How do you deal with light in low light places? Do you use lights or flashes or anything?
Nothing.
Nice portrait picture, man.
What is that? Let me put that.
It's a cat.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Man.
Cartographer, man. He's a cartographer.
I'm afraid of cats. It's a real phobia that I have. Yeah, I can't be around cats. And when I go into weddings, I have cats. Like the bride has a cat. Paula has to go in first, and then they have to lock the cat in a different room, and then I go in. Yeah, I don't know why. So he was asking about if we ever use flash in any situation or when it's really dark.
No,
I don't use. No.
We love to work with the natural light, but if we want to create something during the getting ready, maybe one photo or something we can use, and then during the dancing we use flash. But we can use in any way. So depending the situation, or on camera, or out of the camera, or bounce. So
But say it's like, for example, in a church with really low light, do you use flash?
no flash, no flash.
Okay, fair. How about you? No?
Well, I have a flash with me just in case that I still don't know how to use, but it's like a last resource, just like, hey. But sometimes even your phone can work as a small LED as well, like the torch that you can use.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have like a small LED as well, like in case I need it, like I give it to someone from the wedding party, and they can help me lit a little bit the bride and groom. But I don't have an assistant. I don't have tripods or anything.
Yeah, cool. Okay, final question. How do you reach 20-25 clients here? Word of mouth?
Everything.
Yeah.
Just everything.
Instagram, Google,
Website,
whatever.
wedding planners, social associations from everywhere.
Yeah. Okay, guys. I think we're done. We've been here for an hour and a half, so we're done. I don't think we have more questions here. Let me just check if I missed any, but I don't think so. That's it. That's it. We're done. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Once again, thank you for accepting this. And well, we hope we can still do a couple of weddings this year. If not, we'll just be on holiday for a year. And I hope I can meet you in person next year. Not this year. This year we're not going to meet anyone else new. But I hope I can meet you all in the future. And thanks for everyone for the questions. Marisa, Felipe, no, they're always here, these guys. Thanks to everyone. And okay, guys, when I put the end broadcast, don't leave yet because I want to talk to you.
Okay.
So don't leave yet. And so we'll be back next Wednesday, and we'll be doing photo critique with someone. I don't know who is it yet, but I'll be doing it. And once again, thanks a lot, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.